Some northeastern Oklahoma residents are forced to go elsewhere to get COVID-19 vaccines. We'll find out why.
An FDA advisory committee endorsed Johnson & Johnson's coronavirus vaccine today, clearing the way for it to receive emergency use authorization. I'm Madeline Rivera in Silver Spring, Maryland, with more on the panel's decision.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin Mayor Ryan Stanley talks to us about why the city is letting the mask mandate end. This is KOAM News at 10. Yesterday, the city announced that the mandate that has been in place since November will end on Sunday at midnight. Mayor Stanley says the low number of cases in the community was a big factor, so he feels like they can start relaxing restrictions and mandates. But not all of the protocols have gone out the window.
The service workers, so restaurant workers, anybody that's working close to you, hairstylists and so forth, are still expected to be wearing a mask as they're working with their patrons, as they're within their patrons' area. And so we still have those same protocols in place.
Stanley says those and other restrictions, like those on outdoor gatherings, will be discussed at the city council meeting coming up on Monday night. Yesterday, a city in southeast Kansas decided to do the opposite with their mask mandate. The city of Parsons has extended their citywide mask mandate to May 17th. This is the third time it's been extended since being enacted in July of last year. Officials say the number of cases in the area have gone down there too, but they just don't want to take the chance of letting them come back up.
Even though you may hit a specific number, that still may mean that your health officials aren't comfortable with releasing that. So I think they're going to follow the information that's given to them. They're going to ask the health officials to weigh in at every point and make the best decision for all the Parsons.
Parsons Police Department has been doing compliance checks to enforce the ordinance since August of last year. As Oklahoma continues to vaccinate their residents, some in larger cities are realizing that they need to travel out of their areas of residency for an appointment. KOAM's Bronte Sorosky spoke with one Tulsa resident on what they needed to do and why they needed to travel to Miami for their vaccine.
Oklahoma is getting ready to move into its next tier of administering the COVID-19 vaccine. But not everyone in the current tier has gotten their first dose. This is causing Oklahomans to travel across the state to get an appointment.
So as you know, we post appointments for different locations. People that are willing to travel will find a place to travel to get those appointments.
James Thompson from the Oklahoma State Health Department says the state is posting appointments as they become available.
And so as we do that, you know, we can't lock down to say only people certain residents out of certain counties can have access to those appointments. It's for Oklahomans.
This is how Tulsa residents like Anthony Jones ended up in Miami for his first dose of the vaccine. Jones works at a public school in Tulsa. Because he has so much face-to-face contact with kids on a regular basis, it was his turn to get vaccinated. But he couldn't do it back home.
So that was where the struggle came in. When I tried to find an appointment, the closest one was about 100 miles away here in Miami.
He says he doesn't mind the distance because he's able to get one step closer to beating the virus.
I mean, you know, when people are getting sick, it's kind of important that you do whatever it takes to get what you need to help other people live, help yourself, you know, stay healthy.
Thompson says that despite people traveling across Oklahoma, the state health department is doing their best to make sure that community residents get first priority.
One of the benefits that we have here in Ottawa County specifically is a lot of the tribal Indian healthcare also supports a lot of the residents here in Ottawa County. So they're vaccinating as well based on their federal allotments.
He says that when signing up online, all you need is Oklahoma residency or to work within the state. In Miami, Bronte Sorosky, KOAM News.
State Health Department says because people who could not get vaccinated in their own towns are getting vaccinated at today's site in Miami, they're protecting the state as a whole the best way they can. Doug Heddy joining us now with the first look at the forecast. Looks like a great Saturday tomorrow coming up for us.
Yeah, it looks pretty good after kind of a dreary Friday, but it is Friday. And we had a lot of clouds. We made it up to 47 degrees, but our average high is 54. So a little bit shy of where we should be. Those clouds are starting to break up right now. They're still fairly thick along and south of I-44, but these are going to break up over the next couple hours. And I do think we'll mainly stay dry. You can see just a random sprinkler or two out there. But this whole wave is going to push off toward the east. I do think we're going to get some fog in here tonight, so we do need to watch out for that. Next storm system out across the western parts of the Rockies, and that will kind of zoom on out into the Central Plains over the next 24 hours, and it'll be here by tomorrow evening. Temperatures upper 30s to lower 40s. Most of us will back down into the upper 30s. The winds are light, and because our humidity is high and the winds are light, that's why I think we are going to get patchy fog for us tonight. But 66 tomorrow. We're going to look at those rain chances here in just a bit.
Doug, thanks as always. What firefighters say was an explosion shuts down gas for hundreds of residents of Carl Junction. Southern Star Central Gas Pipeline says 800 customers are without natural gas service tonight. The company says that an employee was injured during a, quote, pipeline inspection process. Officials say it could be as late as tomorrow night before service is restored. And when it is restored at your house, heads up, officials say you need to be there.
When a technician comes to the house to make sure that we have access to all gas appliances, furnaces, gas water heaters, or any other natural gas appliance that a customer may have.
City has set up warming centers at the community center and also the police department. The community center closed at 10. The police department is open all night, however. An Orinoco, Missouri woman is dead after a head-on crash. Missouri State Highway Patrol says 23-year-old Sevy Davison was going northbound in an SUV on Highway 43, 2 miles north of Joplin. She was hit head-on by a pickup driven by 44-year-old Ryan O'Neill of Liberal, Missouri, who was traveling southbound. Davison was pronounced dead at Mercy Hospital. O'Neill was also taken to Mercy Hospital with serious injuries. Davison was wearing a seatbelt. O'Neill was not wearing a seatbelt. Police in Nevada, Missouri arrest a weekend robbery suspect. Authorities say on Sunday, 41-year-old Jeremy Boyd of Mountville robbed the Cash and Dash convenience store at gunpoint. Police arrested Boyd today. He's being charged with first-degree robbery. Kansas Supreme Court today suspended a judge of the 14th Judicial District, which includes Montgomery County, for 1 year. Judge F. William Collins was suspended for alleged inappropriate conduct and behavior, which allegedly includes racist and sexist remarks made towards defendants and court personnel. Still ahead, an FDA advisory committee endorses Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine today, clearing the way for it to receive emergency use authorization. And a newly declassified U.S. intelligence report says the Saudi crown prince likely ordered the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Reviewing Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine has cleared the way for the FDA to formally grant emergency use authorization for the vaccine, which requires only 1 dose. Madeline Rivera reports from outside the Food and Drug Administration's headquarters in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Voted yes. We do have a favorable vote.
The U.S. is poised to get its third COVID-19 vaccine after an independent FDA advisory committee voted to greenlight Johnson & Johnson's coronavirus vaccine. That paves the way for the FDA to grant emergency use authorization.
There is a shortage of vaccines that are currently authorized, and I think authorization of this vaccine will help meet the needs at the moment.
The FDA confirms that J&J's vaccine is slightly less effective than the Moderna and Pfizer shots overall, but showed 85% efficacy against severe illness and complete protection against COVID-19 deaths 28 days after getting the shot.
It is well tolerated and safe. We enrolled more than 19,000 participants in the U.S., paid particular attention to include a diverse population.
It also has advantages the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines do not. It can be stored at normal refrigeration temperatures and requires only 1 dose.
It can lead to the ability to reach both individual and herd immunity more quickly. Essentially, it simplifies the process.
The Johnson & Johnson shot was tested in part in South Africa while variants of the virus were spreading. Moderna announced this week it is preparing clinical trials for a booster shot for the South Africa variant. FDA authorization of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine could come as early as this weekend. If that happens, the vaccine could be headed to states next week. Johnson & Johnson says it expects to provide 20 million doses by the end of March. Madeline Rivera, CBS News, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Side effects for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine include fever, fatigue, and headache. All those are similar to other coronavirus vaccines. The U.S. has taken its first known military actions approved by President Biden. An overnight attack targeted Iranian-backed militia members in eastern Syria near the Iraq border. Pentagon says the strike was a recent response to attacks in Iraq that killed a civilian contractor and wounded a U.S. service member. As President Biden left for Texas this morning, he did not answer reporter questions about this attack. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince likely approved the killing of U.S.-based journalist Jamal Khashoggi inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. That's according to a newly declassified U.S. intelligence report released today. Despite promising to punish senior Saudi leaders while on the campaign trail, the Biden administration says they will not be sanctioning the Crown Prince. Doug Hady's up next with his complete forecast, and later, the McCully boys and girls both playing tonight for a district title. It's a historic moment for the teams, and we're going to have highlights in sports.
Well, it's Friday evening, so we're heading into the weekend, and Friday wasn't bad. We had a lot of clouds, kind of dreary out there, but into the 40s, but mainly dry, a little bit of drizzle, and looks pretty good right now. The clouds are starting to break up, but it is chilly out there. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, live shot just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, February's almost done. If you can believe it, we're almost back into March, and if we look back at the month, kind of a strange month. The first week mainly above normal, and then week 2 and week 3 were just awful, and then this past week not too bad across the region. Temps dropping back upper 30s to lower 40s. I think most of us will kind of hover into the upper 30s as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. South winds very light, so we have some moisture on the ground, very light wind. Clouds are breaking up, so I do think we're going to get some patchy fog as we go through the overnight hours. But you can see these clouds starting to break up, and there's really nothing underneath the clouds here, so we should stay dry. This whole storm system moving off toward the east. So let's go west. Here's our next system, starting to get going out across the Pacific Northwest and then moving into the Rockies. In fact, if you look at the upper levels, you can see our energy pushing off toward the east. You see a little bit of a break. That's our weather tomorrow, and then it moves right back in across the Pacific Northwest. So let's go through time. Look at the fog building through the overnight hours. That means if you're going to be on the roadways late tonight into tomorrow morning, visibilities are going to shrink, so make sure you're very careful. Fog burns off, partly sunny skies, looks pretty good. We warm into low to mid 60s by the time we get into mid-afternoon. So here's your day planner. 39 to start, 61 by noon, high temp is 66, south winds at about 5 to 15. But look at these showers increasing by the evening hours. These are going to be hit and miss, but we're going to have hit and miss showers tomorrow evening, and then a little bit of a line will form late tomorrow evening as a cold front shifts through. Now, all this rain is going to be light. It's going to be kind of hit and miss, and it's going to be mainly out of here by Sunday morning, and then a lot of clouds stick around for Sunday. So rainfall amounts are going to be light. I think most of us, a couple hundredths of an inch, maybe a tenth of an inch. Southern counties, especially southeastern counties toward Table Rock, may pick up a little bit more, 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch or so. But again, we're wrapping up February, so on March 1st, we start severe weather season. Severe weather season, usually about March 1st through June 10th. So over the next 3.5 months, traditional tornado alley kind of out through central Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Kind of shifted a little farther east this year. Of course, the Dixie State's also a little tornado alley, but really from our area, east and southeast are going to have the highest threat to have bigger severe weather events. Not the number of them, but bigger events. So that's something we want to watch. And even next week, we'll kind of go through different topics as mainly the second half of next week, we'll go through additional topics on severe weather season. All right, 66 for us tomorrow, 50 on Sunday. We do bounce back into the 60s by Wednesday, even a chance for some showers and thunderstorms by Thursday.
You're right. February just seemed like it came and went quickly.
Well, it's only 28 days.
Yeah, right. Doug, thank you. All right, the Neosho School District today broke ground on an end zone facility north of Neosho High School. The facility is going to be 43,000 square feet and include locker rooms, concessions, restrooms, an indoor practice space, weight room, and film room. The south side of the facility is going to be completed in September, and the north side in October. The $5.4 million project will be paid for through a ballot measure that was passed last June, also a $400,000 donation. Coming up in sports, Crowder baseball opening up a top 10 series with Iowa Western. Plus, College Heights boys aiming to clinch their first ever district title. Jacob Leonard joins us with highlights next.
For the first time in school history, both the McCallie boys and girls are playing for a district title in the same season. On the girls' side, the Warriors have a chance to claim the Class 1 District 7 championship tonight in Lamar. McCallie on the floor against the Hume Hornets. The winner moves on to the state bracket. Early on, Kennedy Dury takes it in. Quick pass to Lily Black for the put-in. Then Brecklin Morrison, other end, drains it from the corner. She had 22 tonight for Hume. McCallie, though, takes it away here, going to Kaylee Teeter. All by herself. Teeter really made shots when it mattered tonight. McCallie pulls it off in the end, 41-37. The Warriors, Class 1 District 7 champions.
I am super proud of how we came back and just won that. I'm proud of the effort and the energy level that we had. And I think that we just have heart and that we don't want to lose. We didn't want it to be our last game. I think my work is eventually paying off, and I'm proud of it. And, you know, it comes from teammates, too. I couldn't do it without them.
As for the boys, two Joplin teams here going at it in Lamar, with McCallie facing Thomas Jefferson in the district championship. Tonight, it's TJ moving on with a 55-43 win over the Warriors. The College Heights girls and boys are also both in district championship games tonight. The boys face Liberal this evening in Webb City for the Class 2 District 12 title. Liberal's the #1 seed in the bracket. The Cougars trying for their first ever district title. Now, this guy, Caleb Schusnick, out of his mind early on his birthday. Schusnick, 11 points in the first quarter alone, had 14 in the first half. Second quarter, nice cut here from Hagen Beck. Liberal, though, up 6 at halftime. A huge third quarter for College Heights. Curtis Davenport, dude was a monster in the second half. Put back and the foul. Cougars go up 11 heading to the fourth. Davenport, team high 21 points. In the fourth, Miller time. Miller Long gets up and puts it down. He scores 19. College Heights gets their first ever district title, 69-45 over Liberal. The College Heights girls face Greenfield tonight. College Heights enters 22-2 overall. A good start for the Cougars. Lainey Lett working in the paint. Then it's Grace Bishop finishing in transition. 7-1 start for College Heights. They're up 1 after 1, but from there, it was all Greenfield. Ashley Daniel, easy 2 on the break. Greenfield pulls away to claim the district title tonight, 58-44. Joplin High School's Keaton Huff signs today to continue his football career at the college level. Huff is headed to Springfield to play football at Evangel University. He'll be a kicker for the Crusaders and hopefully get a chance to play pretty early on.
I would like to start day one. I'm okay sitting behind and learning for a little bit, but my goal is to start day one and be able to do kickoffs, punts, or not punts, but field goals and all that for them. So I'm excited to see the competition brings me.
Huff will join fellow Joplin Eagle Dominic Simmons as a freshman on the Evangel roster next season. Today is opening day for Missouri Southern softball. The Lions host the Terry Mathis Zinner Memorial Tournament this weekend. Southern opens with a doubleheader today against Northern State. Going to pick it up with game 1 here. Leighton Withers hits this one deep. Over the fence it goes. Michaela Leonard scores. Emily Charchuk. Line drive has Kennedy Thompson racing home here. She is safe. Ashlyn Williams at the plate now. She crushes this one out and over to the bullpen. That's a 3-run jack. Lions have their first lead of the day. Southern started to pour it on. They take game 1, 9-6. In game 2, Lions try to get the doubleheader sweep. Wolves, though, take it 3-1. Southern will be back at it tomorrow with a doubleheader against Missouri S&T. Finally, big series starting today for 6th-ranked Crowder baseball, hosting 2nd-ranked Iowa Western. Reavers get 3 in the top of the first. Bottom of the first, Crowder goes down in order. Stays 3-0. Now, top of the third, Western threatening with 2 on, but Zach Voss gets back-to-back strikeouts to get out of the inning. On to the fourth now. Reavers able to add to the lead. This one gets through the right side. Runner scores to get the lead to 4. Crowder drops game 1 today 6-1, but they do bounce back to take game 2 13-3. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Sergeant Mike Emery, the Claremore, Oklahoma native, served in the U.S. Air Force. And we are proud to salute Sergeant Mike Emery. He's tonight's four-state hero. All right, a dead baby shark in a jar made the TSA's list of top 10 catches of 2020. Someone tried to go through a security checkpoint at the International Airport in Syracuse, New York, with this deceased baby shark. Turns out the TSA had a problem with the liquid chemical preservative it was in. It considered it as a hazardous material. Now, just in case if you're wondering, according to the TSA, you can travel with a live fish, but it must be only in water. Other items on the top 10 list: a slingshot, a book holding concealed knives, an assault rifle, marijuana stashed in a shampoo bottle, and a handmade solar panel with explosive potential. Now, number one was a bit unusual. 2 TSA K-9 handlers at Newark's International Airport caught love for each other, got married in the presence of their explosive detection K-9s. Good for them. Doug Eddy joining us now with the first, whatever, it's my Friday. Final check of the forecast. You know what I mean. Be careful.
I do.
Be careful.
I do think it's interesting you can take a baby shark in water, but
my gosh.
you can't have a 3-ounce bottle of shampoo.
So, careful of some fog tonight, right?
Yeah, some fog tonight, 66 tomorrow, some rain tomorrow night.
All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.